You don't have it, and yet you have the audacity to ask the bank for money.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
I got something to show you. You want to buy a Minion water bottle? Some Minion boots? Or how about a Minion coffin? No, but seriously, everyone knows these movies have had a special kind of reputation. Illumination. You can smell the capitalism. And it all originated with Despicable Me, the studio's first film. And with it, we got... Minions. These little jaundice pills took over the stock market faster than GameStop.
Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
But we're not here to talk about the Minions per se. This video is actually about the film's clever filmmaking techniques. No, I'm serious. Rewatching this film gave me some insight on how Illumination actually gave a minion when they made this movie. See, I substituted minion in for the other word because they're synonymous. But before this video begins, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor.
Get on with it!
Okay, let's just get into it. First, we've got a bit of an origin story here. In early 2007, the president of 20th Century Fox Animation and Blue Sky Studios, Chris Meledandri, left the company to start his own animation studio, Illumination Entertainment. He teamed up with Universal, who would distribute the films, while Chris would retain creative control. And many of you already know this, but he's actually gone on record saying, and I quote, "Strict cost controls and hit animated films are not mutually exclusive." Basically, he's literally just cool with making his films looking and generally being super cheap.
Hello, I like money.
But I'm not gonna judge him too hard. After all, a movie can have cheap animation but can still be good, as long as its stories are worth telling. And as it turns out, their first movie was actually worth making because its story was really good. So we didn't start off with the cheap approach, which is why pretty much everyone on Earth considers this the best Illumination Studios production to date. And it was a commercial success to boot. But what do I think of the movie personally?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Is this movie as bad as everyone says?
Let me think. No.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this movie in the theater, I really liked it. Granted, I was 8 years old, but it had some fun action scenes, and its characters were relatable. If you somehow haven't seen this movie, basically, a supervillain named Gru adopts 3 orphans as part of an evil scheme to steal the moon, and the orphans end up converting him to the good side. The villain of this movie is Vector, someone who is immortalized in meme culture, but we'll get to him. This movie is fine by most people's standards, but for me, it's surprisingly rewatchable. Again, mostly thanks to its great action scenes. But I haven't seen any videos talking about what this movie does right in terms of filmmaking. But no one sees the brilliance that I see here. First, let's start with the characters. No, not those. I'm talking about Gru and the girls. Gru is a hard character to make because he has to be a villain but possess a charm that makes us want to root for him. And here's the scene that shows us this. He walks into a discount Starbucks, freezes everyone, and just takes whatever is on the counter. But then he leaves a tip? Evil? Kinda? Like, this movie shows us his being kinda bad, but then he does something that almost immediately redeems him. And then there's this scene where he tells the minions his plan. And he has...
How's the family? Good? Alright. That's my Billy boy. What up, Larry?
He knows all their names and is super chill. You can see how he's a bad guy, but not really. And the 3 girls have personality too, shown through little details. Like in this scene where Gru first meets them. When he tells them to go away, Margot just accepts it and walks away. Edith kicks the door, and Agnes is all nice and says goodbye. I mean, this is basically their characters summed up in 5 seconds. The movie is great at using these opportunities to separate its characters. And now, the real villain.
Vector!
It's interesting, because this movie presents villains as a connected network of individuals trying to one-up each other, and I love that concept. Villains go to a bank to get evil loans, they hear about each other's accomplishments on the news, and they're competitive. It's a unique take on supervillains, and even Megamind didn't flesh out its own universe like this movie did. So in a world full of villains, who's gonna be our actual antagonist? It's a dorky kid who has all the new gadgets. He's also the banker's son. And some people think that Vector being his son is kinda pointless, because it doesn't really go anywhere, but if you think about it, it actually means a lot for the rest of the film. because Gru's a villain who has to start from the ground up, with really no help from his parents. Vector, on the other hand, is incompetent and is probably just banking off his dad's money. It's a great character contrast. One had to work hard, and one was lazy. It's a character duo that makes Gru more likable. We want to see Vector lose because we know he probably doesn't deserve to win. It's a subtle aspect of the film that's left up to the audience to interpret, but it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Good job. Good job. Really good job.
You didn't realize this film was that complex, huh? Like I said, this first movie by Illumination is leagues above all their subsequent releases. But you probably clicked on this video because of what the thumbnail said. So, it's time to break out your number 2 pencils, because I'm going to school you on some filmmaking 101. Term, Chekhov's gun. Definition, a dramatic principle that states that every element in a story must be necessary, and irrelevant elements should be removed. Elements should not appear to make false promises by never coming into play. If you ever wonder why Breaking Bad is such a good show, it's because everything introduced has a purpose to serve. And I think I found some surprisingly good examples of Chekhov's guns in this movie. Actually, it's a new kind of gun that I'm going to call Chekhov's Shrink Ray. This scene. Gru steals the Shrink Ray. His plan is to build a rocket to fly to the moon, shrink it down with the Shrink Ray, and bring it back to Earth. Fantastic. Except, there's a flaw in this plan that no one accounts for. Because right after he steals it, Vector swoops in and takes it, and the scene ends with Gru's airship getting shrunk. Everybody remembers this scene. Cool action scene. The ship stays tiny for most of the rest of the movie. Yeah, most of the movie, because there's a quick scene here where it suddenly grows back to normal size. No one was accounting for the fact that the effects of the Shrink Ray would actually wear off. They didn't build it, so of course they wouldn't know that it wore off. And the concept of effects that wear off is actually presented to us earlier in the film.
We've been working on this for a while. It's an anti-gravity serum.
Do the effects wear off?
So far, no, they don't.
And it's herein that we find our Chekhov's gun we were looking for. It's a really creative way to introduce the idea that the effects of these weapons can wear off, even though we don't see that anywhere else in the film except with the Shrink Ray. And the reason I'm dubbing this as Chekhov's Shrink Ray is because of these intermediate scenes that make the technique a bit more complicated, but more rewarding in every way. So let's take this one step further. At the climax of the film, Dr. Nefario says this.
What happened to the ship? It's big again.
Not as big as the moon's going to be.
What?
The larger the mass of an object, the quicker the effects of the Shrink Ray wear off. I call it the Nefario principle. I just came up with it now, actually.
Oh no.
And if you rewatch the movie with this new knowledge, you'll find that everything adheres to this rule. When Vector shrinks Gru's ship, it takes a bit of time for the effects to wear off, because it's a bigger object, it won't take the entire movie. But when Gru shrinks this minion, it takes way longer for the effects to reverse, because a minion is smaller than a ship. So of course when you shrink something as large as the moon, the effects are going to wear off very quickly. All of this stuff was actually planned from the start, and that's just super cool to me. This stuff, you only realize it after you watch the movie like 30 times like I have recently. It's a surprisingly complex plot device, hidden away in a movie that at first seems very surface level with its plot. Films of the future could be infinitely more enjoyable if they pay more attention to this kind of complex storytelling. And that's just the stuff I noticed. This movie does a lot of surprisingly complex things, but they're overlooked because, come on, it's Illumination.
Get back in the kitchen.
But that's it for this video. Comment below what you think of this movie. Do you think I might be reading too much into it? I might be. As always, the full body version of this outfit will be on my Instagram. Oh, and with my Instagram, I've started doing a promotion where if you draw your own version of the outfit I make, you get a free commission, or you can pick what my character will wear next. Not sure what the next video is going to be. Might be something with an animated show rather than an animated film. Alright, that's enough plugging. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.